On line number 10, we are joined by Minister Nick McGrath. Good evening, Mr. McGrath. Minister McGrath, how was your flight?
It was very good, long but good. It's nice to be home.
Good. Well, welcome home. I hear that it's not, the circumstances are, somewhat sad for tomorrow. But thank you for joining us tonight. We only have about, 8 minutes or so, and the plate is kind of full, Minister McGrath. There's a lot of discussion, and I have a lot of questions that I've generated about this issue with frankly, let's start with the $10 million, the bond that has been returned to Humber Valley Paving for a job that is incomplete. I can't wrap my head around the logic as to why, if there is a guarantee provided for a job to be completed, that a company, no matter how large or how small, should be rewarded a gift such as this.
Okay, well, Jonathan, I'll try to explain it to you as easily as I can.
Please.
The $10 million is a bond that's put in place as a guarantee, and it's sort of like a mechanic's lien on a job that goes in. And once the job is completed, to the satisfactory of the tenderer, in this case the provincial government, then the contractor is given back the $10 million.
Sure.
So in this particular case, the job was completed to the satisfaction of the tenderer, because we negotiated with the contractor to arrange to have the contract terminated. So the work that was done, the work that was completed, that was paid for. The work that is not completed is not paid for. And we're very pleased with the work that was done. So we have no reason to keep the bond. And I think the important thing that I'd like to get out to the general public, when it comes to bonds, if I had to say or suggest to Cabinet, I don't think we should go down this route that we should keep the $10 million bond. We still have a job that's not finished. I still have 60 kilometers of highway that's not finished.
Sure.
What I want to do is get a job finished. I want to get a job finished on budget, and I want to get a job finished on time. And that was the objective when I sat at the table to negotiate the termination of the contract. I looked at what was best for the people of Newfoundland and Labrador and for the completion of this phase 1 of Trans-Labrador Highway. And I honestly believe, in my professional opinion, that we made the right decision to move forward. We had a window of opportunity to cluster this work with another major big job that's coming up, and that's what we've done.
So, thank you for that. You've certainly given me some answers that I was looking for, and I'm learning about this process, as a lot of our listeners are. I mean, we can assume a lot, but it's always good to get the facts. Let me ask, so you say that it was completed to the satisfaction, so there was a $19 million contract that was awarded to Humber Valley Paving, so $12 million of that was paid to Humber Valley Paving. Therefore, 20 kilometers of the Trans-Labrador Highway is, in your statement here, a satisfactory number for the stages of completion. So therefore, there's only $7 million left in tender for an incompleted portion of the Trans-Labrador Highway for this particular phase, which is 60 clicks long.
Yes. Now, what I'd like to clarify there, Jonathan, is that you're using numbers here. So I want to make sure that the general public understand the numbers.
I hope so. Thank you.
This particular contract, this $19 million contract, was to upgrade, widen, and then put blacktop on an 80-kilometer stretch of road.
Right.
So they have all of the work done. They did all the upgrade, they did all the widening, they did all the surfacing of the 80 kilometers that was necessary. Then they started to blacktop, which of course is the last thing you do. So they had to build the highway to get it ready for blacktop, and that all of that work is done on the 80 kilometers. The only work left to do is the blacktop on top of the 60 kilometers remaining.
Okay.
So all the subsurfacing work, the upgrading, the widening, that's all done.
Sounds logical. Now, thank you. That's, and you know what? I don't know if you heard, but there was an individual who sent in an email to me and stated essentially what you just said, Minister McGrath, is that there was a number of issues, and to have that much of it completed really means that it's the widening of the path, the laying of the rock, etc. So
that's the hard work.
That's good. Yeah, it is the hard work. So that's interesting. Now, Riddle me this. You've got $7 million left for 60 clicks for the blacktop itself, and I'm using the number 7 million because the original contract was for 19. Here's my question. When you were putting out the tender for the remainder of the 60 kilometers of the highway, everybody already knows the math on how much they can bid for this. If there is a possibility here that the province of Newfoundland and Labrador might actually save some money because some might undercut the 7 million that supposedly it would cost to lay down the blacktop.
And, you know, Jonathan, the people that are going to be bidding on this job, you're not just bidding on a 60-kilometer project. You're bidding on about 144, 145 kilometers. Because what I've done is I've taken 3 projects and put them into one tender. Okay. So I have the 60 kilometers in phase 1 of the Trans-Labrador Highway. That's between Churchill Falls and Happy Valley Goose Bay. Mm-hmm. In phase 3 of the Trans-Labrador Highway, which will start in Happy Valley Goose Bay on the Trans-Labrador Highway going south towards Cartwright Junction, and there's going to be 80 kilometers of that, which is now ready for blacktop. And then within Happy Valley Goose Bay itself, there's some work being done on the Hamilton River Road, and also some small work around there, as well as there's about 3 kilometers of pavement that needs to be replaced, their chip seal. So all of that work is out now in one tender. So a contractor, most of the contractors now, will sit down and say, look, I'm not bidding on just 60 kilometers. What I'm doing is I'm bidding on about 145 kilometers. Huge project, ready to go. So people will be biting at the bit to get this project. And as you stated, it's quite possible that the Newfoundland and Labrador government will actually save money on this. And again, one of the premises of my decision to allow this contract to terminate, strictly a business decision, was that I do not want to put Newfoundlanders and Labradorians out of work. I want to keep Newfoundlanders and Labradorians working. If I were to keep the $10 million bond, I was left with a job unfinished, undone, and people out of work.
Interesting. That perspective fascinates me. We have very little time left. I have to say, you did state that this project will be completed on time. Now you're saying that there will be an extension to the actual blacktop that will go down in terms of length. When I factor in possible forest fires this year, please God, no, in Labrador, the 2 words on time, it seems to me that this is a risk.
There's always a risk in saying on time and on budget, Jonathan, and anyone that knows anything about business would know that certainly this contractor that we just negotiated with to terminate a contract, because of the forest fires last year, they ended up losing quite a bit of revenue with circumstances that were unforeseen and unpredictable to anybody. So that's always a chance, but you can't move forward in saying the what if. If we work that way, you'd be saying, well, what if I run out in front of a car on my way to work and you wouldn't go to work in the morning? Yeah. So we can't live life on what if.
Yeah, as my father would say, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bus. I have one quick question here, yes or no, hopefully you can answer this. Someone wants to know why Edmonton and Calgary can have government-owned paving and it works out to be cheaper in the province, although they have the highest labor costs. Why can't it work here? I'm assuming it might be a resources and materials issue. What's your thought?
Well, there's a couple of things there, and I can't get in deep to it because I haven't really done a lot of research on it.
Sure.
But our government is not into doing the work ourselves. We don't have the capacity. Capacity is the biggest thing. Yeah. And you've heard it so much in the last year, 2 years about the shortage of skilled workers. We're going to have 70,000 skilled workers shortage in the next decade, so we don't have the capacity to do that ourselves.
Yeah, I figured. Minister McGrath, I thank you very much for this. We got to go. We're at the end of the show. I appreciate your time. Let's make a date in the future to discuss that capacity issue because that's a big one for me and for all of us here. Thanks very much, and have yourself a good evening.
Thank you very much, Johnson. Again, thank you for the opportunity to get on and explain to the general public exactly what's happening here.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Folks, I hope you were satisfied with that. Obviously, the dialogue is not over.